Good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for asking. So I have assessed your Dulcie Wood letter. I'll give you the feedback for this one.
All right.
Okay. So first thing is that are you going for computer-based test, as Anshul told me?
No, because I don't think I have practiced enough of on computer. I'll go for a paper one, and I
Paper.
will. I haven't booked yet, but I'll book on 22nd July.
All right.
For
All,
22nd July.
all right, doctor. So if you're going for paper-based test, then I will send you a sample sheet today. And next time onwards, whenever you write your letter, use that sample sheet. I mean, you can get it printed or something, some copies
Okay.
of it, and try using that. Plus, start writing with a pencil because in the exam you will be using a pencil, 2B pencil.
Okay.
Yeah. So there won't be any problems with, all these cuttings and overwritings.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
All right. Let's check the layout here. The name of the recipient, address and everything, date of writing is correct. Then after RE, you can put a colon sign here. Colon is these two dots like this.
Okay.
Then after the name, you can put a semicolon, that is one dot and a comma. And after date of birth, remove this hyphen and again put colon.
Colon. Okay.
Colon, semicolon, and colon, like that.
Colon. And if the date of birth is not present and somebody has written their age, in
That is
that case,
also okay. No problem with that. You can
the
write date of birth.
semicolon,
So
age,
age,
sec.
yeah, semicolon, A capital A. So if you're writing age, then you can write like this, age, and then
Yeah.
this sign again, colon, and say 40 years old.
40. Okay.
Or else you can write this also, aged 40.
40 years old. I'll go with that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Then dear Dr. Raymond, if you put a comma after Dr. Raymond, then in that case you have to put a comma after yours sincerely also. Otherwise, you can skip it at both places. That's completely
Okay.
your choice.
All right.
So this is about layout. Rest of the thing.
And the comma, when it comes to address, would you scroll down, please? So I have written Dr. Vincent Raymond, comma, or no comma is needed.
No comma is needed there.
And when it comes to address, a comma is needed.
Yeah, because that is in continuation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Date of birth also can be written in the very next line too, like after this, regarding Mrs. Dulcie Wood, and then here you can write date of birth or age, then leave one line and then salutation. Both ways are correct. Just writing it next to the name or writing it after the name.
Okay.
Then, okay, intro. Intro says, I am writing to book an appointment for Mrs. Dulcie Wood at 8 a.m. on 14/8. She is presenting with a fluttering feeling in her heart. Now, think that you are this doctor, Vincent Raymond. You are Dr. Vincent Raymond, and I wrote this letter to you. So, after reading my intro paragraph, do you know exactly what you need to do for the patient? Is the purpose clearly mentioned? I mean, do you
No,
have
it's not.
to monitor or assess or what?
Actually, I was very confused regarding the purpose because in the writing task, I was supposed to book an appointment, but a line above that, it said that the patient wants to be referred. So I was confused what the writing task is.
Yeah. So see, there is this fluttering feeling which the patient is experiencing, and
Yeah.
he wants you to book an appointment with this doctor. So, what is the reason? Is there anything required? Is there an assessment required?
It doesn't mention anything like that, I don't think.
So, if there is a probable diagnosis given and the patient wants you to send them to a specialist, so they will
Yeah.
be evaluating the patient further, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
See
you
what you
can
mean.
pick that thing. So you can say, I'm writing to book an appointment for Mrs. Dulcie Wood at 8 a.m. on 14/8 for further evaluation as she is presenting with a fluttering feeling in her heart.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
And now, since this fluttering feeling is something that the patient has mentioned, and you're writing to a doctor, so from doctor to doctor, there can be a medical terminology used here. So you can write arrhythmia, heart arrhythmia.
Okay.
So you can change the
Again,
language.
I was confused because it said write a letter to the receptionist. So I was confused if I'm writing to the receptionist, to the
No, you will never
doctor.
do.
I know ultimately the receptionist wouldn't accept.
Hanji. And also, doctors get assessment letters, discharge letters, and transfer letters. Mostly 95% of the cases, you will get assessment letter in the exam, where there will be a provisional diagnosis and you will be sending them to a specialist to confirm or something, or further evaluation or assessment of the condition.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that case, you can even memorize a statement. For all the letters, you can use similar statement. So, right, if I want to modify, so this is just what you have written. I have told you what to add in here and what to change. If you want to
Yeah.
memorize that, then in that case, you can leave this thing 8 a.m. on 14th. So why? Because you can write that later. We write the request thing twice. First, we write
Okay.
it in the intro paragraph, and then we write it at the end here.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, what you can do is this 8 a.m. and 14th of August thing can go in the last para with the request, and intro can be I am writing to refer Mrs. Dulcie Wood for further assessment of her condition or for further assessment and management of her condition as she is presenting with signs and symptoms.
Okay.
Instead of presenting, you can use demonstrating, exhibiting, showing, anything. So she's presenting with, she's demonstrating, she's exhibiting signs and symptoms indicative of or consistent with arrhythmia, heart arrhythmia.
Okay. Just one more thing, because it does not state the provisional diagnosis arrhythmia anywhere. So, like, can I write that?
See, it's up to you. If you think that because patient is again and again complaining of this fluttering feeling, and
Yeah.
patient does not know the medical terminology, so this is why in the sample they have changed the language. And these ones are practice case notes. Most of the times in authentic ones, you will see that the diagnosis, provisional diagnosis is mentioned. So you will not have to make any changes to that. So here I
Okay.
can say it's completely your choice, whatever. So you can say that she's presenting with features suggestive of fluttering feeling, or she's complaining fluttering feeling in her heart. You can even say that. Otherwise, the statement that I have given you, you just have to change the condition and you can use it as it is in all the letters wherever you want to request assessment. It kindly assess as the symptoms are suggestive of or indicative of so and so condition.
And is there a difference between signs and symptoms and features suggestive of? I have read that if. Okay, no? Okay.
It's same. And
Okay.
also, so your intro paragraph basically will have three things: name of the patient, purpose of writing, and reason behind that. So name of the patient is
Okay.
Dulcie Wood. Purpose of writing would be further evaluation, and reason
Mhm.
would be this fluttering feeling which she's presenting. So
Okay.
three things have to be there in all cases. If the patient is hospitalized, in that case, we write date of admission and discharge also in some cases in the intro, but that just depends on the case.
Okay.
Okay. Then initially, so after initially, there is no comma needed. Just straight away, initially on 3/7, Mrs. Wood presented is twice written, so I'm just cutting one of the words. Presented with primary complaint of an uneasy feeling in her chest. Multiple times for last few weeks, examination revealed BP was slightly elevated. For this, she was commenced on Norton Daily. After full stop, S capital, she was advised
Okay.
to record the number of fibrillations. So now here you can end this paragraph. Why? Because we need to very clearly organize information. So this one is
Okay.
good, a good paragraph, but it should have ended here. When you added family history, now you're confusing the recipient. So whenever you're
Okay.
sending information, think what's primary and what is secondary. So in this case, the initial thing was leading to the current situation. So we are writing it in a chronological manner. So first visit, whatever remarkable. Now this thing here, that family history is secondary. It's important to be informed, but it is secondary. So I'm gonna pick it up,
Okay.
not write it here. So just marking a
Hmm.
star because I think it can be written somewhere in the
Okay.
later body paragraphs. Now, there is one more reason I'm removing it from here. I will tell you once we move forward. So far,
All right.
this is the initial visit. Then, on follow up visit. Now, again, you have not mentioned the date. So, the doctor will not be able to know. They don't have the case notes. They are understanding the situation from your letter only. So, you have to mention on her follow up visit on 17/7/2009, or the date of writing is what, 8th August, and the previous visit was 3rd July. Okay. So you can say on her follow-up visit after 10 days. You can even write.
Okay.
Or
So
after,
if there are given 4 appointments, I have to mention time duration between each almost. I can't skip some appointment.
you cannot skip as such, but you can summarize. So suppose in
Okay.
this case there were 4 appointments and only first and last were important, and the
Mhm.
middle two, second and third, are not those that remarkable. Things were not happening. Almost
Yeah.
similar complaints were there. So in that case, you can summarize and say on her next two follow-up visits in the duration of
Mhm.
1 and 2 weeks, or in on her follow-up visits in the month of August, like that you can
Okay.
say. She reported frequency of sensations to be less, but woke up twice during the night. Now you have written her medicine was increased to half a tablet. This information is correct, but why did you increase the tablet, half a tablet?
Because she woke up during the night. She was not completely well.
And the blood
I
pressure,
suppose blood pressure went down actually, I think, from
a
what I
little
remember.
only, but it was still
Yeah.
remarkable, right?
Okay.
It
I
was
didn't
one,
think that was remarkable.
okay, it was 135/70 or something.
Yeah, it went down after the first visit, and by the last time, it increased up to quite a significant amount.
Okay, so in that case, if you think it came down a little, so you can mention that. You can say she reported the frequency of sensations to be less, and blood pressure was also stable, but she woke up twice during the night. Her medicine was increased to half a tablet at night.
Okay.
Because it was high. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure, sure. Actually, the way I've written this sentence, I don't think it is correct because what I'm saying is her medication was increased to half a tablet. It
Hmm.
seems like it has been increased to half a tablet and not another half has been added. Are you following me? Because she also already had to take half a tablet in the morning. I have added half a tablet at night, but I couldn't form this sentence properly.
So you can say that the dosage of her Noten medicine was increased by half a tablet at night.
Right. Okay. Right. Half a tablet. That's right. Okay.
And then we can further. So today's visit, this has to be separately mentioned because in all the cases, mostly today's visit is the one which is leading to the further diagnosis or further.
Yes.
So this should be highlighted in your letter. So after the second paragraph, you can start a new para here. This could be a third paragraph. That today Mrs. Wood informed experiencing. Okay, she informed experiencing the heart flutter multiple times a day. Since is grammatically not 3 days is a duration, so we will say for 3 days.
Okay. Fine.
Duration for starting point of an action since, like since Monday, since last week, like that.
Okay.
So for 3 days, which has caused her a lot of anxiety. Now, the words like these, regrettably and unfortunately, have to be excluded from OET writing because OET says that doctors cannot be judgmental towards patient's condition. So, if you write
Okay.
regrettably or unfortunately, it would be something like judging her or a negative word to suffering, unfortunately, regrettably. All these are negative. So, we need to
Okay.
avoid using them. Just say that for 3 days, which has caused her a lot of anxiety, and or additionally, her BP has elevated to 180 by 90.
Okay.
Now, in this paragraph, you can add because she is the one who wants you to refer her to this doctor. And there is a
Yeah.
reason behind that. Her sister was treated from the same doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. So that little
Okay.
thing now is your choice. You can add it. If you want to add it to the same paragraph, you can say her risk factors include family history of MI in her mother.
Okay.
Yeah. This we can pick. So because she is, very, so how we are connecting it is that this is how the condition progressed. And the patient is very anxious about it. First of all, her risk factor includes family history of MI because her mother died of it. And
Yeah.
sister has been treated by you for the same condition. Therefore, she is insisting on being referred to you.
Okay.
So the doctor knows it. And
Okay.
after this, if there is any current medicine that she's on and you wish to add that, you can. Otherwise, you can say the list of her current medicines is attached to the letter.
Okay, yeah, I had another question regarding this. If the medication, in this case, the medication is related to heart, maybe she's taking for BP or something like that. If it was a condition that was not related to her heart, let's say she had a leg cramp and she was taking medication for that, in that case, there is no necessity to add the ongoing medication, or is there?
See, it's up to you. अगर आपको लगता है, if you think that it is going to be an important piece of information for your recipient, because in some cases patients are using something which could be, that
Yeah.
uh, adding up to some
And,
important information or some contraindication kind of a thing, or maybe
hmm.
they are allergic to something which you think should be informed. If that kind of information is there, you can add it. Otherwise, you can skip that part if it's just an extra thing. They are intermittently taking some medicine for their backache or something, so you can skip on that too. Otherwise, the best thing to do is if you find it confusing at any stage that should I add it or not because my word limit is almost complete, 200 words I
Hmm.
have added and it's not that important, so just say that important case details and medication list is attached to the letter for your review. That's it. Then you don't have to add anything. Just add that little sentence and close your letter saying, kindly take over her management, or kindly, an appointment is, when are we fixing it? Yeah. So I
8
request
a.m.
an appointment for her on 14/8 at 8 a.m. for further assessment and management of her condition as you deem appropriate.
Okay. So I have to repeat the request first in first paragraph and in last paragraph.
Hanji. Only in those cases we don't repeat when we write it in a problem solution manner, which is mostly in discharge cases. When there are multiple problems and multiple solutions, we make different paragraphs, and then in that case, we don't repeat the requests. In this case, we will because we are chronologically writing it. But yeah, the only difference will be that my vocabulary will not be same. If in intro I'm writing assessment, then at the end I'll write evaluation. Or in intro I'm not specifying the appointment, and at the end I am specifying what date the patient wants the appointment, what is suitable for the patient, and then I can say the closing state, or I can simply end it saying, please book an appointment for her on so and so date at 8 a.m. for further examination and management, or kindly assess, examine, and treat the patient Mrs. Wood. Mrs. Wood is better. Assess, examine, and treat Mrs. Wood as you deem appropriate. An appointment is being fixed on this date at 8 a.m.
All right. Okay.
And then you can just end it saying, in case of any queries, kindly do not hesitate to contact me by capital, yours sincerely.
S is also capital, right?
S is small.
Small. Okay.
Y capital, S small. Name of the recipient in cases when the name is not given, like here it's given Vincent Raymond. In some cases, suppose it's written, write a letter to cardiologist of so and so hospital. So in that case, you end it with yours faithfully.
Okay. If there is no designate.
If there is no name and only designation, we end it with yours faithfully. If name is available, then we end it with yours sincere.
Okay. And another thing, I came across a letter in which the name of the doctor was present, but it was not specified what I was referring to. When I read the case notes, I realized it's to a physiotherapist, but it was not mentioned in the writing task. So can I assume and write Mr. So and so physiotherapist, or am I not supposed to do that?
No, in that case, you can just simply use the name and address which is given.
Okay.
Don't add
Okay.
designation there. Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing, whenever I give family history, what is the correct grammatical structure? Like she has been like, or simple present or past perfect?
See, the family history is something. So this is the fact. Now this history will stay with her until she is alive. So you can say, her family history is remarkable for, and then you can write like XYZ condition.
Okay.
XYZ condition in her father and grandfather, like that. Or you can
Do I
say,
have to write this father and grandfather, because I think it takes up extra word count unnecessarily?
it just depends. If you think there is a lot of other information which is suitable. Now, in some cases, what happens is the reason for referral is that the patient is very, suppose they are showing up signs of bowel cancer, so their own
Yeah.
signs and symptoms, and then their family history, which is positive for cancer in the family. So someone has died, maybe, or someone has been operated, or some surgery done. In that case, the yes, information would be important, because
Okay.
primary is his own signs and anxiety is because of the family history he has seen. So yeah, if not very important, just a secondary piece of information, then you can simply write it that she has a family history of this.
Okay. And same goes for alcohol and smoking. How is that grammar going to be in like that? She
If
has a history.
relevant, if
Yeah, if relevant.
relevant, then you can say her risk factors include smoking 20 cigarettes per day and drinking wine on weekends, or drinking 28 units of alcohol per week, anything. So
Okay.
because it's relevant, so we have to specify that these are the risk factors.
All right. And in the second paragraph, I have written, for this, she was commenced on not in 50 gram daily. This information is correct, or I have to add half a tablet in the morning? I just thought I could exclude that. Is that all right?
No, it's all right completely here, because then you are in the next para, you're specifying that you added half at night. So yeah, it will be obvious for them.
In the next line, she was advised to record the number of fibrillations, again with the grammar. She has been advised or she is advised. What is the correct?
Okay, now for that, it just depends. Now here you are writing initially on third. So time is there for an action. Both the tenses, past and present perfect, are for action which have happened, done. So, but if the time is known, then this one is correct. She was advised. Because when was she advised? On 3rd of July when she came. अगर
Okay.
टाइम नहीं होता तो हम सिंपली
Yeah.
लिख सकते हैं that during her visit she has been advised to record the number of fibrillations. So if only a piece of information is being given, then present perfect, otherwise past.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think I learned a lot.
Great. I am happy that you found it useful. Just keep writing and we'll be giving you the feedbacks. Slowly we can see a lot of it is almost correct. Just next time onwards, write it with a pencil. And one more thing which I want to advise, because if you just maintain this practice from the beginning itself, it can be really useful. So 45
Yeah.
minutes in total for writing the letter, out of which 5 minutes are for only reading the case notes, in which no writing will be allowed. They will not allow
Okay.
you to hold a pen or pencil in those first 5 minutes. So you're left with 40 minutes now. Out of these 40 minutes, don't straight away pick the pencil and start writing your letter. Take 5 more minutes and first structure the letter. I will share that sample sheet with you. You will see that two sides of that sheet are blank, entirely blank. So you can
Yeah.
use that blank paper to make notes, in which you can just in short notes write that
Okay.
in intro I will write this, in first para this, and second. So in that case, what will happen now? Suppose like you're structuring this letter. So जैसे आप first paragraph लिखोगे, by the time this clicks you that I'm adding family history here, then again when you're coming to the third para, you may think that I think family history is merging here in a better manner. They can exclude and write it here. In that case, it will save your time. You will not have to erase and rewrite it, because that will be a lot of effort. So now you will be left with 35 minutes. Out of that, some sentences you will have memorized. So 30 to 32 minutes can be used for writing the letter. And at the end, 2 to 3 minutes can be used for proofreading.
Okay.
Yeah, in
I
initial.
gave my OET exam on 13th May,
Oh,
and
you've already given it.
yeah, so I did score well, 400 and 400 plus in all the sections. I scored 219 writing.
Oh,
So yeah, my problem lies with writing, and I have a lot of problem with identifying the purpose and stuff like that. I think I made a lot of grammatical mistakes in the sense like I'm asking you. Oh,
no
yeah,
problem.
that's
Okay, with practice, I think we can overcome that issue. And
okay.
just put a timer and follow this. So, in exam, it will be easy for you to structure first and then write, because according to the case, structure does vary.
Yeah, sure, it will help. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, doctor. See you.
All right.